Worcs live from the Hive.
And we're rolling.
So hello and welcome to our latest careers talk as live from the Hive from Careers Worcestershire. So today we want to introduce you to some of our Worcestershire businesses who are going to share their knowledge, advice and tips that might be useful to you in helping you with your careers journey. So in this careers talk we're focusing on STEM, so science, technology, engineering and maths. And young adults from Worcestershire have sent in their questions, which we're going to put to our lovely panel in front of us here. But before we start with the questions, if the panel could please introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Ian Walker. I'm a Learning and Development Specialist from Herefordshire and Worcestershire Group Training Association, and we deliver apprenticeships in business administration, accountancy, management and engineering.
Hello, my name is Sam Skelding and I'm a third year engineering apprentice for Amada, UK, based over in Kidderminster.
Hello, I'm Wendy White. I'm the HR manager at Amada, working alongside Sam. I'm responsible for the apprentices. I think we should also add that Sam is our apprentice, Hereford and Worcester Group's Apprentice of the Year, which is one of the reasons why he's here. So yeah, my responsibilities are, along with HR and legal duties at Amada, I also have responsibilities for the apprentices. And we take on roughly 5 or 6 apprentices, engineering apprentices every year, along with administration and occasionally accountancy apprentices as well.
Hi, I'm Jack Herbert. I work for Kerry Tenbury Wells. My role is Engineering Site Services and Utilities Manager, and I also manage our apprentices on site as well.
Hello, I'm Joanne Whitaker. I'm a lecturer at the University of Worcester. I teach in biomedical science and across a number of different biology subjects.
Hello, my name is Giovanni Sorurco. My role is process engineer and I work for 𝗽𝗲𝗿𝘀cie We specialize in water reuse. We build, commission and operate the plants if they need it.
Hi, I'm Nikki Scott and I also work for Hereford and Worcestershire Group Training Association, where we are training providers for apprenticeships. My role is to go into schools, colleges, other venues and promote apprenticeships via the leaflets that we hand down and showing what's on offer.
Lovely, thank you very much to our businesses. So thank you to our audience as well who have submitted a question. Let's get stuck in. So Sam, if we start with you, what made you choose a career within this industry?
The reason I chose a career within the STEM industry is all throughout school I knew that I wanted to work with my hands and problem solving, so I always had a natural affiliation towards engineering subjects, design subjects, maths and science. So for me moving forward, it was clear that I wanted to go work in STEM, and just through hobbies and what I enjoyed and what I naturally excelled at in school, I found a placement within engineering. As like I said, I enjoyed working with my hands and also hobbies that I had outside of school at the time, such as like working on cars and watching motorsport, and that all just led towards this passion for engineering, I guess you could call it.
Fantastic, thank you. And Jack, what made you choose a career within STEM?
Very similar to Sam, to be fair. When I was younger, I loved building things. My dad was a mechanic, so I was heavily involved in helping him with doing cars. I loved Lego as a kid, and it was a nice little bridge into the engineering industry, and I'm really glad I did it.
Great, thank you. And Jo, what made you choose a career within STEM?
Yeah, so I mean, these guys have said that what they were passionate about as they were younger. Similarly, I was passionate but more about the biology side of things, so I went down the kind of science route because I was always interested in things like the medicine documentaries, information like that, health and disease. So that's the kind of thing that influenced me to go into STEM subjects and more into the biology side.
Thank you. And Giovanni, what made you choose a career within STEM?
Well, like both of my parents are chemical engineers, so my sister and I will kind of be always influenced by that, and I will always enjoy, to be honest, studying maths, chemistry, physics. So I always kind of knew that I was going to go with some kind of role in engineering. So when I got a chance to choose, engineering was my first option.
Thank you. And Jack, what skills and traits do you feel you need to work in STEM?
Engineering specifically, you need to be a good team player. You work with a range of engineers usually, and to problem solve effectively, you need to communicate with all the engineers and come up with a solution for specific problems. Yeah, lots of problem solving, keen to get involved in things, get your hands dirty, get stuck in. I think those are the main things really.
Thank you. Sam, what skills and traits do you feel you need?
Yeah, just to echo what Jack said there, definitely problem solving, but I think moving on from that, probably adaptability, because in areas such like service and breakdown, you don't quite know what you're going to face. So having that clear mindset and be very centred in what you know to be able to fix and adapt to different problems is one of the main things I'd say.
Thank you. 𝗽𝗲𝗿𝘀cie, what skills and traits do you feel you need?
Well, just to complement, I guess perseverance, because you always get faced with challenges, so sometimes it's tough to find out what is the right solution, but if you just keep trying, keep looking forward, and keep just working with your team, you eventually get it.
Thank you. And Jo, what skills and traits do you need to
Yeah,
work in?
so I think in particularly I've worked in research before, so you need to be inquisitive and want to find out more, want to kind of add something to what's out there. So and also perseverance, because very much in research, it doesn't just go smoothly. Quite often things don't go as you thought they would. You find out information that is different than you'd expected, and that's really interesting. But yeah, the perseverance is where that comes in.
Thank you. And Jo, what do you enjoy most about your role?
So I'm a lecturer now, so what I really enjoy now is that I researched before and now I can sort of share that information and start to inspire other people with my role now. So I can be lecturing about something that I was researching previously, and you can see little sparks light up in the room, and people are, they kind of get the concept and they're interested in it. So it's really nice being able to kind of pass that enthusiasm on and inspire other people into the subject area.
Thank you. 𝗽𝗲𝗿𝘀cie, what do you enjoy most?
I guess you could say that as a water reuse company that we have is helping a bit environment, because currently not only UK but a vast majority of countries have water scarcity as a problem, or will eventually have. So by being able to introduce plants that will reuse the water within the same industry, it's going to help a lot with that. So it's just nice to think that you're adding a bit more help for that.
Thank you. Jack, what do you enjoy most?
I think I enjoy most the fact that every day is different. You come to work and you can have the best plans laid out to start your day, and a breakdown happens and it all goes wrong. But it's really interesting when something does go wrong and you get involved in it. No day's the same, which is really good.
Thank you. Sam, what do you enjoy most?
I'd have to say one of the things I enjoy most is getting your hands dirty, really being able to jump into problems and just attack them head on and work out what needs to be done, but also using your brain and working out which solutions best fitted, dealing with failures and stuff like that, but just jumping in and getting your hands dirty I really enjoy.
Thank you very much. 𝗽𝗲𝗿𝘀cie, what's one of the main challenges that you've faced in your role, and how did you overcome it?
I guess you could say that you constantly get challenges and new different things happening, so you eventually make mistakes and fail, regardless of how you try. But it's important, and that can be a hard pill to solve for some people, but it's important to learn that there's no success will come without failure. So you need to learn from those ones. You will make mistakes, you learn from those ones and just keep moving forward. Doesn't matter how many times you fail, just matter how many times you keep trying.
Great, thank you. Sam, what's one of the main challenges you've faced, and how did you overcome it?
One of the main challenges I faced. Again, it'd be just sort of the day-to-day things, maybe not even like large problems that you'd encounter, but just like small things that you'd encounter along the day, just so like, as much as like taking panels off in a certain order or something like that. Just the small things that then you learn over time. You build that natural affinity towards just engineering processes in general, rather than like specific stuff that you can carry on around the workplace and through industry, hopefully.
Can I just add as well that I feel that with the apprentices, one of the challenges they face is combining their further education studies as well as and their portfolio work, as well as the day-to-day work as well. So it is important that the apprentices, from our point of view, need to develop their time management skills as well.
Thank you. Jack, what's one of the main challenges you've faced, and how have you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge I faced was when I was an apprentice. I started out doing electrical, and I struggled with it to start with. I couldn't quite get my head around it all. but I was very good at the mechanical side of things. So I had a word with my employer at the time and said, look, I think I need to move to the mechanical side of things more than the electrical, and they did. And then over time, my electrical knowledge has become a lot better. So although I had struggles at the start, over time, it's come to fruition. It's worked out all right.
Great, thank you. And Jo, what's one of the main challenges you face?
So I'm going a slightly different tack to the others, but one of the main challenges, which I think people experience throughout their careers, is confidence in that you're in the right area, right subject area. I didn't come from a background of any science at all, so I was the first one doing any science. And so at different points in my career, I thought, should I really be doing this? Am I really doing? Do I fit here in this subject area? And overcoming it is just by throwing yourself into it and doing it, and then looking back at the end and thinking, actually, I did a good job there. I'm quite proud of myself for that. So I think sometimes those hurdles of confidence do come in as well through a kind of career that's developing.
Great, thank you. And Sam, is there anything that you've experienced that you didn't expect from your career choice?
I think the main thing I didn't expect was just the sort of variety and travel that work can have. So working in Amada, one of the pathways that can go along is service and breakdown, and as part of that you get to go and visit company sites, and I don't know if it's because I didn't know or whether I was naive to it, but the actual ability to be so well travelled in the UK and within Europe as part of this kind of line of work, you don't really think about, and that is quite an exciting prospect to apprentices and stuff like that, because it's definitely somewhere to aim for. Being able to go out and experience work and life around different parts of the UK and Europe.
Thank you. Jack, is there anything you've experienced that you didn't expect?
Yeah, I think my pathway into management really, when I started out my apprenticeship, I was pretty confident that I was just going to go for engineering. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to keep my hands dirty. And then as time progressed, I got given opportunities to get into management roles, and I really enjoy it now, and I never thought I'd like to sit behind a desk some days, but yeah, it's not too bad actually.
Thank you. Jo, is there anything you've experienced?
Yeah, I mean, you just said you didn't think you'd ever see yourself sitting behind a desk. I never thought I would ever stand up and be a lecturer and talk to 100 students in a room. Back in my research days, I was quite happy sitting in a lab quietly pipetting with a white coat on. And now I can pretend to be an antibody in front of a classroom, which is something that I would never have pictured years ago. So yeah, that's a surprise to me on a personal level.
Thank you. Giovanni, anything that you've experienced that you didn't expect?
I guess as a water engineer, there's still some technologies that are underway to develop, and I didn't expect it. There's been studies for years and many years, and you expect by now all these technologies will be proven, but you find out in your daily work that, oh, I'm not sure why that's happening, and you just kind of like keep moving forward, learning more, and just finding out those things. Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Thank you. And Jo, what qualifications did you undertake as part of your career journey?
Okay, so I guess you might say that I went through a classic academic route, which was definitely not a classic route for anyone in the family. I did A-levels in biology, chemistry and physics, and then a master's, and then a PhD in immunology. So very kind of, I forgot the undergraduate, I did an undergraduate in biomedical science, in biochemistry and neuroscience. So very kind of classic route. I'd say I kind of fell into it at times. I originally wanted to do art when I went to college, and decided actually I like biology. I think I'll go and do something sciencey. So I went to my local university, did science there, found out that I absolutely adored immunology. I was offered a year out in industry, took that, and I think that really opened doors up, because I didn't even know what a PhD was. I didn't know it existed. So that was my kind of trajectory. But you don't need to go that crazy along a trajectory. You can go into science and engineering, technology, but not having to do a PhD. So plenty of opportunities kind of as you progress through that academic studies.
Fantastic, thank you. And how did you find that traditional route? Was there a lot of support available for students?
Yeah, I loved it actually. Yeah, I think when I went to university, I was wowed by the fact that I was there. I was like, I didn't expect to ever go to university. I was there, I loved it, and I just kind of embraced it and walked around with my books thinking, here I am, kind of thing, I've made it. And I felt very supported when I was at university, and I guess that's what I try and do now for the students that I teach, is to want them to feel that support and to feel that they're kind of involved in the subject area, that they can kind of flourish as well. So yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Jack, what qualifications did you undertake?
So when I actually got my apprenticeship, I was still at school, and I hadn't actually received my GCSEs at the time, so I was still waiting for those results. And since then I've gone on to complete my MBQ level 3 in engineering, done various management courses, and I'm currently doing a degree with the Open University for business management. But I think the main takeaway really is that when I got my apprenticeship, I didn't even have my results. So I think a massive factor is, if you're wanting to get into that industry, when you go for an interview, just really sell yourself and make sure that you prove that you really want this opportunity, because when you're going into an apprenticeship, you're kind of starting from scratch. So I think some companies do take a view of you're going to be learning as you go, so it doesn't factor too much on what you already know. It's about what you're going to learn in the future.
Great, thank you. Giovanni, what qualifications did you undertake?
So yeah, I did my undergrad back home in Bolivia, so I did a bachelor's in industrial engineering, and then I moved to the UK to do a master's in water and wastewater engineering. So yeah, that happened.
Fantastic, thank you. And Sam, you're currently on your apprenticeship.
I am, yeah.
What do you enjoy most about the apprenticeship route?
The apprenticeship route, the fact that you almost get in at, I want to say ground level, and you work your way with the company through it, so you can start at a very small base of knowledge and then really develop into the role that you're hired to do. And I think that's a fantastic way to enter the industry, because my background, I stayed on the sixth form, did my A-levels, and I stood at the fork in the crossroad of, do I go to university or do I go into the apprenticeship route? And after spending some time in the industry, it became clear to me that the best way to enter engineering for what I wanted to do personally was to go through the apprenticeship route in engineering, and I wouldn't change it. I think it's the best way definitely to get into the engineering side of STEM.
Fantastic, thank you. And Wendy, could you tell us a little bit more about apprenticeships at Amada, and what support is available for students?
Yeah, okay, sure. Well, the apprenticeship starts in year 1, where we take our apprentices on a little bit earlier than many other companies within the Worcestershire area. We actually take them on in early August, so they have 4 weeks with Amada before they go on to Worcester Group training for a year. And in those 4 weeks, it gives the apprentices the opportunity to see whether engineering and Amada is for them, and also the apprenticeship route. But also it gives us the opportunity to get to know and know our apprentices, and also to instil them with the values that we hold so highly at Amada. So yeah, after 4 weeks, they go off to Worcester Group training. And in their first year they do 4 days learning basic engineering skills, and then the 1 day they do the advanced manufacturing engineering qualification level 2 at Worcester Group training as well. So that's 5 days at Worcester Group training. So they're with Worcester Group training until around about July time, and then they come back into company. And in year 2, they rotate around various different departments. And those departments at the moment that they rotate around are software engineering, refurbishment, and consultants. Yeah, I couldn't think of consultants, and sometimes engineering as well. I think Ian will agree that sometimes he'll come into Amada and he'll walk into the refurbishment department, and if he sees a pair of feet under a machine, he can pretty much guess that it's an apprentice that is under there. So, you know, what we do is we really try to involve our apprentices in the business. They're not here, they're not with us for, you know, cheap labour or anything like that. They're there to learn. So we really do try and involve them in the work, and they're really valued. Our apprentices are really valued at Amada. So that's in the second year, so they get a taste for the different departments. And then at the end of the second year, I sit down with the apprentices and between us we decide where their skills lie, whether they lie perhaps in the more communicative roles, for example consultants and software, or where their skills lie in the more hands-on experience, where going out into the field and dealing with machines and with our customers. Obviously we have to tie that in with business needs as well, because we couldn't have everybody wanting to be, for example, a consultant. So we do have to tie that in. But I think, every year we do seem to get it right. We seem to be able to match what our apprentices want with what the business needs as well. So that's in year 3, and in year 4 as well. They continue with in that area. Alongside years 3 and 4, the apprentices start their MVQs as well, which are not called MVQs anymore. Portfolios, yes. So they do that, where they build up their skills. Ian's probably better at telling about that.
Yeah, so they build up their skills by putting together a portfolio of evidence which is showcasing the sort of work that they're now doing in company, photographic storyboards, health and safety, everything else that shows that they're able to do those jobs. And the reason that the apprentice does that is at the end of their apprenticeship they go through an independent endpoint assessment, where that portfolio is used as that evidence to show that they are now able to be deemed competent and complete their apprenticeship and go on with their careers from there.
So thank you, Ian. So along with the work experience side, obviously there's the further education side. I mentioned that in years 2 and 3, years 1 and 2, they study the level 2 advanced manufacturing engineering qualification at Worcester Group training. But Amada also offers in years 3 and 4 an HNC in engineering as well, which is level 3. So they go on to develop that. And then hopefully at the end of their apprenticeship, after 4 years, we will then be in a position to offer them an apprenticeship. And that's really important to us. I mean, our mantra is that we like to grow our talent for the future, and that is why we take our apprentices on, so that we can develop our engineers for the future.
Fantastic, thank you. Ian, can you tell us a little bit more about the engineering apprenticeship and what support you provide to students?
Yeah, so it starts with recruitment, where my colleague Nikki is heavily involved, where we talk to young people at all sorts of events, schools, colleges, other careers events, to explain to them what an apprenticeship is and how it works, and having done that, recruit them into our apprenticeship programme. They're all employed by local companies, so every apprentice that starts with us in year 1 in the first week of September is employed by a local company. The first year, as Wendy says, is off-the-job training in our training centre here in Worcester, 4 days a week doing the practical work with our instructors, 8, 9, no more than 10 apprentices per instructor, learning the practical skills that an apprentice needs to learn to be an engineer, and 1 day in the classroom doing their technical certificate. And then years 2, 3 and 4, my role is to go to the various companies, see the apprentice every 4 or 5 weeks in company, make sure they're okay, learning what they needed to learn, getting the right experience and knowledge, and I help and guide them through then to their endpoint assessment at the end of year 4.
Fantastic, thank you. And Nikki, are there any particular qualifications that you look for for someone who's interested in an apprenticeship?
Ideally they would have passes in maths and English. Any other passes are a bonus, but it's not all about the academic qualifications as an apprentice may have achieved. Sometimes you could get somebody perhaps incredibly bright, 9 level 9s or 2 A stars, A levels. They can't talk to people, they can't ask questions, they can't communicate. They may struggle in the workplace. So employers, Wendy might back me up, are kind of looking for somebody that's got the all-round sort of package, that they've got maybe enthusiasm, motivation, they're driven to do well in engineering. Hopefully say coupled with the passes in maths and English, but that's probably what employers would be looking for when they interview.
I think, Nikki, that 3 or possibly 4 people have mentioned this one word when earlier on in this meeting, and that's passion. And that's one of the things that we're looking for, is a passion for engineering. And we recognise that some people will be coming to us as GCSE students, so they don't have a lot of work experience. When I talk about work experience, it's not work experience where a school has asked you to go and spend a week at employers to get some work experience. But the work experience that I'd be looking for is where an individual has gone out and sourced some work experience themselves, perhaps during school holidays. It may be like, for example, a paper round or something like that, where it shows that they have the ability to get up early in the morning and commit to, popping those papers through the letterbox, come what may, whatever the weather's like. It's that's the work experience we're looking for, as I say, not work experience where a school's asked you to do a week's work experience. So it's work experience, and also I think Jack mentioned it as well, Lego. Something as simple as Lego, something as, making and building things as a young child. Those kind of experiences, that's the sort of thing we're looking for, or where they've helped Grandad build a shed, or their auntie gives them old kettles and kettles and toasters to take to bits and things like that. It's that kind of thing that we're looking for. But again, it's passion, it's attitude, and then for Amada as well, it's also professional image. And I think Nikki mentioned about the communicative skills as well. We want people to talk to us. So that's something that they really need to practice on, I think.
Yeah, just demonstrating that work ethic, really, I think employers will look for. And also I explain a bit about what engineering is, because some young people don't have access to sort of engineering lessons, so I just explain, it can be building, fixing, making a product, maintenance, everything around you is designed by engineers or produced by engineers. So I kind of sort of start with the basics really of what engineering is, but hopefully, some do have that experience through either school or sixth form.
But it's still important to do your studies.
Fantastic, thank you. And Nikki, for those interested in apprenticeships, where do they go for more information?
Well, for us, I'd say come to our open event, which is October the 18th in Worcester. Come and meet employers. I mean, that's a great way of getting work experience, meeting our employers at our open event. We probably have about 30 employers across all fields: accountancy, business, customer service, engineering. Build up those relationships, ask those questions at our open event. I know one apprentice got his apprenticeship based on the fact he asked for work experience at our open event. He went in, he did 3 days, and then when he came to apply after A-levels at sixth form, they remembered him, he pointed out he did the work experience, and that's how he got his apprenticeship. So there are that direction. Also, you can come to, you can join a personal tour. If you go on our website, 𝗽𝗲𝗿𝗀cie, you can book a personal tour. If you're not able to come to our open events, or you want to come soon or just after perhaps we've held one, we're quite willing to do that, where we show you around, you meet staff, meet apprentices. So that's another direction. But obviously, the traditional route would just be applying online. As soon as we get the application form, that's when the process kicks in, where they do have to come and do initial assessment tests, but they're nothing to worry about, just indicate the current level they're working at, especially if they haven't got GCSE results. And then we have an interview with someone like maybe Ian for engineering, and you will talk about what sort of company they're perhaps hoping to work for, what type of engineering they're hoping to do. And our aim is to match suitable apprentices with suitable placements, but the employers make the final decision. So I do always advise young people to have, or anybody, to have a plan B, in case they're not successful, because there's only one intake per year for accountancy and engineering, but business and customer service is a rolling programme. It's all year round, we have vacancies. So head to our website, look at the vacancies that are on there. Maybe not all the engineering ones are on there, and that's the case, just contact our engineering recruitment team, and they'll be able to perhaps tell you or send you a list of the current vacancies. But normally just get your application form in. You're under no obligation once they apply via an application form. If you want to withdraw it at any stage, that's absolutely fine. But I would say don't delay. Keep your options open for young people throughout the summer. Apply for everything, and then over the summer perhaps make your choice after you've done your research, an informed choice about the right pathway for you.
I think one of the things that Nicky mentioned there as well is that individual who made an impression that he or she went along to an employer, got work experience, and then was offered that position. One of the things that I would suggest to anybody that's going to one of these events is make that impression. And how you make that impression is for you to go up to the prospective employer and talk to them, not stand behind your mum and dad while your mum and dad say, oh, he wants to do, or she wants to do engineering. It's about what you do, so put yourself forward. And another thing that creates a great impression is those individuals that have got a CV with them and say, you know, I'm really interested in a position with you, here's my CV. You know, it's that kind of thing that we're looking for, because it's really competitive. You know, there's a finite number of apprenticeships out there, and there's a lot of people that want these apprenticeships, particularly the good apprenticeships. So it's up to you to make that impression. Definitely.
Fantastic, thank you. So, final question for today. Ian, if we start with you, any final words of advice that you'd like to give our audience today?
Just as is echoed, really do the research, find out what the options are, visit websites and see what's out there. University is great routes for lots of people, but so are apprenticeships, and that needs to be understood.
Wow, thank you. Sam, any final words of advice?
The only word of advice I have is get in there as early as you can. I deferred and did sixth form, like I said, which all it's done in reality is push back my date of qualification. So some of the apprenticeships and apprentices in my year at Amada and my year at college, they got in when they were 16 leaving school, and that's such a good way to get into the company, because then you're just qualified sooner effectively.
Thank you. Wendy, any final words?
Yeah, just develop that passion and show the prospective employer that you have that passion. So that can be through, as I mentioned earlier, some kind of work experience. It can be through hobbies, but also try and demonstrate that with visual aids as well. You know, we've had some really successful apprentices that have come to us with a portfolio of photos where they can show us, this is what I did, this is what I did here, this is what I did there. And that's the kind of thing we'll be looking for.
Thank you. Jack?
Yeah, just if you're interested in engineering, definitely go to the group training open days. It's definitely worth looking at, and it's a really good eye opener to what you can become in the future.
Thank you. Jo?
I think what I'd say is, as you're kind of moving through your studies or your career, really take opportunities that arise. Sometimes opportunities come up that you never expected, and they can send you down a trajectory that's really right for you. So if things come along, grab them, be passionate, go for them, and you never quite know where you're going to end up, really.
Thank you. Giovanni?
Just like maybe don't limit yourself, aim big always. Just try to reach out to different companies, say, hey, I'm interested, even though there might not be positions available, but just send your CV, talk to them, I'm interested, maybe in the future consider me, and things like that. That helps a lot to kind of get a place where you want.
Thank you. And Nicky?
I'm going to echo Giovanni, aim big. Many of our apprentices go on to be managing directors, chief executives, even own their own companies. So we have alumni come to our awards evening where they talk about where they are now, and it's you'd be amazed, you know, how high you can achieve. It's not going to hold you back in any way by going down the apprenticeship route. If you want to go to university, you can also go to university, do a degree through the apprenticeship route. Difference being you've got no debt, you don't owe a penny to anybody. It's all paid for by your employer. So a lot of people are choosing that route to get their degree through the apprenticeship route for obvious reasons. So go for it, go for an apprenticeship, best thing you'll ever do.
Fantastic, so we've come to the end of our questions for today. So once again, I'd like to thank our panel for joining us and our audience for watching.
And before we end, Apprentice of the Year, round of applause.